Hello, friends in Pennsylvania. It has been a very busy week for those of us who are concerned with medical freedom. I'm Charmaine Russin with the Pennsylvania Coalition for Informed Consent, and I'm here with your week in review. Today is June 18th. And this week, we saw a lot of legislative activity. We saw our Senate Bill 618, which was introduced by Senator Kristen Phillips Hill, pass through the Senate and land in the House. This bill will partially prohibit vaccine passports in Pennsylvania. I believe it's entitled Vaccine Passport Prohibition Bill. Now, this will not apply to businesses as of now, but the way it's written, it will at least prevent state entities and any entities receiving state funding from requiring proof of vaccination in order to receive services or just to participate in those areas of society. So we do support this bill, absolutely, and we want to see it go forward. So thank you to everyone who has taken action on that already. And right now it is in the amendments process. So we are just watching to see what's going to come of that as the legislators add their 2 cents in the House as to what they want to see added to this bill, removed from this bill, and all the changes. That will then have to be discussed and agreed upon and voted on, and then the bill will have to go through the rounds again back into the Senate for approval after it is amended. So that we are watching updates as we get them. We also saw House Bill 262, which is the Right to Refuse Act, and it was introduced by Russ Diamond. It's been in the House Health Committee. I'm sure if you're not new here, you know all about this bill. We saw a hearing earlier this year, and we've been really trying to push this bill forward. Of course, all of our members who work in and these people need to have their rights. I mean, is healthcare the new military? Do you have to give up all of your rights in order to be a nurse now? Even to just work in the building, even to just go in as a sales rep, or as the cleaning personnel, or even if you work for the company off location as an IT person, you're going to be mandated the same vaccines for all the rest of the employees. Is this the right way to treat human beings in a free society? We think not. And so we want to see this bill, House Bill 262. It's a shame that we need to put these things in writing, that, yeah, people should be allowed to have their jobs and not have to take some risky injection in order to keep them. So that bill did pass out of the House Health Committee. And I want to give a big thank you to Representative Jim Cox, the chairperson of that committee, for really taking the reins on this, doing his due diligence, doing his research, hearing everyone out, and really standing up for individual freedoms, for people's rights to govern their own bodies. He understands natural immunity needs to be considered. He understands a lot about the downsides of vaccination, and especially mandatory vaccination, because we have been educating him and his staff for the last 6 years. He has consistently stood up on behalf of parental rights and individual freedom. So thank you to Representative Cox and also his colleagues in the House Health Committee, especially Dawn Kiefer, Representative Kiefer, and Representative Lewis, who really championed this bill and brought up the very important points that are those points on the hearts and minds of our members and the people in healthcare, to move it forward. So that bill was voted out of committee, went to the full House floor, or actually, no, instead of going to the full House floor, it went to the Rules Committee. Right now, the legislature is trying to finish up the budget, and that's always a very arduous process. So the bills are now going to the Rules Committee, where they will sit, and the chairperson of that committee gets to decide if something gets brought up for a vote. So we will have an action alert coming out Monday morning. Monday, we are going to launch a phone call campaign. Make sure you are ready for it. It will be simple. We will provide all of the details that you need. It's going to be click, click, call. So we are going to take action to try to get this Bill 262 moved forward and passed before the summer. Because if it sits on the desk all summer long, how many thousands upon thousands of healthcare workers are going to have to either get the injection or lose their job over those next few months? This time is of the essence, and I think our legislators understand that, but we need to make sure that we get our message across loud and clear. So we will be launching that on Monday. Make sure you're signed up again for our email alerts because Facebook doesn't always favor us. And we want you to just make sure you're engaged in doing these simple things that can make a big difference when we all do them together. Other news this week, while we're continuing to see our members speak out at school board meetings, the best way for you to be a part of that is to join a local chapter. We have 29 chapters and growing right now in Pennsylvania, across the state, and the chapter groups are going as a group to their school district board meetings. They're writing their own comments. Some of them are printing out the comments that we provided on our website. It's still on our website under active action alerts. You can see, tell your school boards, stop the abuse. You can print out the comments and you can take them to your school board and you can just read them. Again, we try to make advocacy simple and accessible for everyone. And this has been working. We saw 2 more school boards over the past week drop their restrictions immediately. So kids, even though there were only a few days left in school, they were able to breathe free and act like children again, being together in that school environment. And we want to get ahead of this so that school boards will hear from our parents before they make their policies for next year. I know a huge concern right now is colleges, and there are some groups of college parents who are finding each other and taking action, again, on the local level, college by college. We did have a campaign in Penn State, and other things are popping up. So get to know your local people. That is the way to make to have influence in these areas right now, and while we wait for the legislature to kick in on our behalf. So last thing I want to go over is the ACIP meeting that was scheduled for today. Don't be fooled by my pleasant demeanor. I was angry enough to spit nails this morning or yesterday when I found out. I mean, I am just disgusted with what has happened. They called an emergency meeting. Emergency, meaning it's urgent. We need to discuss this. Something terrible could be happening. We need to look at it. And the emergency meeting was to discuss the risk-benefit analysis for COVID-19 shots for kids, adolescents specifically, the ones that they are giving right now. And rather than halt the program until they get to have this meeting and do this analysis, they're continuing the program just as it has been, even though they recognize that there is a high percentage of myocarditis resulting from these shots. That is heart inflammation. So between the heart inflammation and all of the other adverse events being reported, it would be prudent to stop and make an assessment before injecting these products into any more children. The UK has decided that they are not going to approve emergency use of these injections for kids under 18. They are going to wait and see what happens to America. So everyone, your kids in America who are getting this shot, you are the guinea pigs for the world. It's just unconscionable that this is happening because, well, so what happened was they canceled the emergency meeting because today became a national holiday as of yesterday, celebrating Juneteenth instead of getting together to discuss the future and the possible large-scale mass health failures and adverse events that could be crippling and killing our children. That was put off because it's a holiday now. So I'm disgusted. This meeting is rescheduled. It's going to, well, this discussion is going to now be part of the regularly scheduled meeting on, I think it's July 23rd. We'll post in the comments here where you can go to submit your written comment to the ACIP, the Advisory Council on, or Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. It's the part of the CDC that recommends vaccines or doesn't recommend vaccines. And you know, we're kind of curious if there's ever been a vaccine that they chose not to recommend. I don't know. Have to look into that. So that's what's happening. I recommend everybody sign up to present oral comments at the next ACIP meeting. And if you get chosen, it's going to be a lottery. If you get chosen and you want help on composing your comments, reach out to us and we will help you write them. But it's important that we get our voices out there. So the more people sign up to give oral comments, the better our chances are that somebody in the advocacy world is going to get to speak up on our behalf. So again, I'll post that in the comments. And that's pretty much the wrap for the week. So stay tuned. We're going to have, like I said, on Monday morning, we're going to start making some phone calls. And great job, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be making phone calls on Monday, and tell your friends, share the word, make sure you're on our email address. informedconsentpa.org is where you can connect with us and keep up with all of our action alerts. All right, enjoy your weekend. I want to give a shout out to all the advocacy dads out there. We love you. We could never do this without you. We know that your hearts are broken just alongside of ours, that you push through it, you do what needs to be done, you're providing for your families. And, you know, a lot of the dads, we see a lot of the moms out here being vocal. And that's only because the dads are making it possible for us to get out here. I would say, especially in my case, you know, my husband, you've never seen him on a video or anything. He is, he's what I call a para advocate. And if he weren't able to do all the things that need to be done, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I know you dads are pouring it out for your families. We love you. Happy Father's Day. We honor you. And we're thankful that you're in this fight with us, whether we see you or not. We know it. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you Monday.